This week was all about new life, welcoming newborn babies into this world and making sure that the newborns that are struggling are well supported to increase their chances of surviving. It's been such a wonderful week and a great start to Clerkship. Our week started on Tuesday because Monday was a holiday. My day began with my morning routine, a cup of coffee, and some delicious breakfast. Then I got changed and was ready for what felt like the first day of school. I got in my car and drove to Montfort Hospital where we were going to learn how to examine newborn babies. All right, good morning. Welcome back to another video. Today is the first day of my pediatric rotation. Currently walking to the Montfort Hospital where we're going to start our neonatal unit. So today we're going to examine 10 babies. I think that's the goal for today. We're going to interview, take the history from the moms, take antenatal history, examine the babies, make sure that everything's working fine, that they're normal babies, there's nothing concerned. We're gonna get some teaching throughout the day. So right now, going to school, we have a lecture from 8 till 9, and then from 9:15 till about 3 is when we actually have to be on the wards or doing our physical exam, checking off our objectives. So today will be fun, it'll be interesting. I'll try to summarize the day, probably after, as I won't be able to record during, but I'm looking forward to it. I am nervous. I have to start reviewing my notes, make sure I know what I'm talking about, but it's all part of the process. If possible, I try to park somewhere on the street so I don't have to pay for parking because that does get really expensive very quickly. And once I made it to the hospital, I met up with some of my classmates and we had an orientation lecture. We dropped off our backpacks in a residence lounge and then met with our supervisor. We split up in teams of 2 and interviewed different mothers, but I'll let my past self explain how that day went. All right, I just got home from my first day at my pediatric rotation. This week is newborn, so today we were at the Montfort Hospital in Ottawa and got to examine a couple of babies. They're not even a day old. The baby that I got to examine, he was born at like 8 or 9 a.m. last night, 9 p.m. last night, and tiny little babies. I got to see 3 in total. We were a group of 5 or 6 students, and it was such a really neat experience because, man, babies are so cute. Like, I don't even get to see babies, right? I'm just not around young mothers that often, or I don't have friends who have babies, so I don't get to see them often. So today was really unique just to see them fresh, brand newly created, and they're just precious little guys, precious little girls. And it was really neat to be able to take the history, ask the mom questions, see how she's doing, how the pregnancy went, how delivery went, and then be able to examine the little baby. And just to give you an idea of what this exam looks like, we just really palpate and look everything from head to toe, make sure the suture lines feel all right, look at the eyes, the skin, make sure nothing abnormal, trachea, listen to the heart. They have a higher than normal, for them it's a high heartbeat, a high rate is normal. They have a fast respiratory rate as well. We got to check their legs, make sure that the hips are okay. Anyways, it's a very comprehensive exam, but it was really neat to experience that. And this is only the first day. We finished around 2:30, which is nice. It's actually pretty early, and I have a lecture at 3, so I just drove back home. I'm gonna change out of the scrubs. I like these scrubs, a little tight though. I have to buy a bigger shirt later, but I like them. They're figs and they're very comfortable. Overall though, like, I feel tired and I hope my body gets to it, to like standing for long hours. That's what kind of like my concerns, deep inside, kind of like, oh no, is my body gonna adjust? Is my mind gonna adjust? And so much that we have to know. So hey, Clerkship has started and it started fast. Clearly I have a lot of studying to do. Got to ask some questions and I felt a little lost. So I got to spend the time that I do have studying, less time on my hobbies, that's for sure. All right, that's a quick update for the first day of peds, and I'll keep you guys updated for the rest of the week. All right, today is Wednesday. It's a pretty calm day. Actually, let me show you what my schedule is. So far I woke up at 5:30 and I've just been studying, ate breakfast, just went off to work, and now I'm gonna get back to studying. So right here, we have pediatric grand rounds, 8:30, which is virtual. And this entire period is just used for studying, to do some cases, to learn, and then I have to be at the CHIO hospital to learn to do resuscitation PAL. After that, I'm done. And that's all I have for the day. So today, today, my main focus is just going to be to catch up on learning. So I have a lot of flashcards to cover content, to make sure that I know what I'm doing. Yesterday was a very eye-opening experience. I noticed that I do need to study more than I have. I didn't start studying last week. I started studying on Monday because I really wanted to enjoy any time off that I had before it really got busy. So now that Clerkship has full speed, I have to keep up, and there's a lot of content to learn. So I'm looking forward to learning. It's going to be challenging, but very good and rewarding. So that's it for today. I don't know exactly how much I'm going to be able to record of that PAL session, but if I do, I'll include it in the vlog. And the next 2 days, Thursday and Friday, should be a lot of action since we're going to be in hospital full time. After doing some practice cases and studying, it was time to head over to the hospital. All right, so I'm headed towards CHIO. We have our PAL, it's very practical learning. We're gonna do a simulation of a resuscitation of a baby. So we're given the case that the baby was born, but not breathing, cyanotic, no heartbeat. So we have to go through the protocol of how to bring the baby back to life. So that's what we're gonna do on a simulation. Should be good. I write over the algorithm, so hopefully it won't be too difficult. And gonna make my way over to CHIO now. By the way, if you're new here, I'm Thiago. I'm a third-year medical student. On this channel, I show people what the life of a medical student is like and give tips and tools on how to live a healthier, productive, and more fulfilled life. Thursday and Friday were both days where our team was going to be at the Civic Hospital from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. We were on the neonatal special care nursery unit, following a resident and a doctor around. They assigned us 2 to 3 babies to learn about their history and perform a physical exam, and these were all premature babies. And throughout the day, the resident would get paged to go to any deliveries currently happening. So we had multiple opportunities to see a spontaneous vaginal delivery or a C-section delivery. We all got the opportunity to see a newborn resuscitation, and that doesn't necessarily mean the baby is dying and that we need to bring him back to life. It just means that the baby needs a little bit more support to ensure that his or her transition is a bit more smoother. And what that looks like is that the baby is immediately placed on a warm bed, patted down to get dry. The nurses place electrodes to make sure that the heart and other vital signs are measured. They measure the baby's temperature and oxygen saturation. And while that's happening, someone else is suctioning the baby's airways, and the APGAR score is given at 1 minute, 5 minutes, and 10 minutes. And the APGAR score is a scoring system that assesses a newborn baby's well-being using 5 different factors: the heart rate, breathing, muscle tone, reflexes, and skin color. The newborn baby is then given a score between 0 and 2 for each factor, and the highest possible score is 10. However, most of them get 9, but that's basically perfect because every baby comes out blue. If you're enjoying this video so far, don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and like the video. This lets me know that you're enjoying it, and feel free to comment what sort of videos you'd like to see from me in the future. Around noon, we all took a break and had some lunch. All right, guys, we're in the neonatal unit at the Civic Hospital. This is our first time being here. I'm here with Megan. She's in the French stream, but we've been in the same group for this week and possibly in the upcoming weeks for peds. But we both just saw a C-section. Megan, you want to walk us through, just kind of share like what you're going through, like feeling wise and that?
Sure, it was so awesome. I actually got a little bit emotional. It was the second C-section that I saw, and mom was a champ, honestly. Moms are incredible. It was really, really amazing. We got to see a little bit the surgeons at work and then see the anesthesiologist right in back, and then baby was out and we were with resident and we were kind of making sure that baby was okay, breathing, pinking up, just to see if they were ready to go back to mom.
Yeah, and it was my first C-section. I haven't seen one yet, and it's so cool. Earlier today we both saw a resuscitation of a baby, which just means kind of keeping them warm, checking their vitals. They didn't really need extreme measures, but it was so cool because I felt that was the first time I saw a little, I don't think it was a preemie, but it was just a small baby that needed a little bit more help, and I felt just so warm in my heart. I'm like, oh my gosh, my heart was melting. I could have teared up if I wanted. I think it's just so precious to be able to see little babies being born, entering this life, and we got to just take the baby and start warming him up, and very precious moment. So I think we're both enjoying our first week of Clerkship.
Very much so.
At 3 p.m. we finished all our duties and went home. All right, so I just got home. We finished around 2:30 or 3 p.m. Got to do some studying for the rest of the day, get through some flashcards. Today was pretty good. I got to see the C-section, got to see a newborn baby go through resuscitation, and I got to examine 2 babies, write in progress notes, do a discharge summary, and our doctor gave everybody a topic to research and then present tomorrow. So tomorrow each person in our group is going to have to present for 5 minutes on a topic, and my topic is respiratory distress syndrome and TTN, transient tachypnea of the newborn. So I'm going to do some flashcards first, get some studying done, and then I'll put some things together. It doesn't have to be a formal presentation. It could be just talking about it or some notes or a handout. So fortunately, it's not going to be too much work. But so far, today was a really nice day. It's been slow. The residents said like newborn week for the first week of clerkship is kind of sucky just because it's supposed to be more of a break during clerkship. But for us, it just means that we ease into clerkship a lot slower and then things pick up. So next week I have emergency, and then the week after I get to CTU, and CTU is going to be a lot busier. So I'm just going to change and maybe relax a little bit and then get some work done. All right, I'm taking a little bit longer of a break, and I decided to barbecue for dinner. So I have a whole bunch of sausages in here. I'd enjoy barbecuing while there's good weather, and I have my laptop on the desk, and I'm gonna do some flashcards while I barbecue. Alright, so tomorrow I'm presenting on respiratory distress syndrome and TTN, transient tachypnea of the newborn. So I'm just working on a slideshow. I initially wasn't going to go this hard. I didn't want to make it complex or do a presentation, so I want to keep it simple, but it's easier just to demonstrate with images, and I want to make it more memorable for my friends who are going to be listening to me present. So this is what I have. So here's the first slide, and then you skip through etiology, pathophys, risk, signs, imaging, some x-rays, and so on. So I'm going to work on this for next hour or so. I don't know how long it's going to take. Maybe do some more flashcards and then go to bed. There definitely is not that much time in clerkship to study or do anything else, that's for sure. On Friday, I showed up at the hospital for 8 a.m., got changed into some scrubs, and met with the team. Each of us prepared our notes on our patients because we each had to do a case presentation during rounds on our patients. Then the resident was amazing enough to bring us all coffee. All right, just drinking a little bit of my caramel cojito, and it's delicious. It's sweet. I like sweet drinks. And right now it's early. I don't know what time it is, maybe like 9:15, and everybody's just writing notes on their patients because today we have to present our patients on rounds to the doctor, which is basically give them a summary of everything that's happened overnight with the patient. Have they improved? Have they gotten worse? Their ins and outs, how they're feeding. And our little patients are like this small, so they're super adorable. And my patient's been pretty stable, so I made some notes on my notepads here, and later today we're going to present for 5 minutes on a topic. So I'm presenting, like I mentioned before, or respiratory distress syndrome and TTN, transient tachypnea of the newborn. So everybody has a presentation semi-prepared, and we're just going to talk about it. It's nothing formal. Today we're expecting delivery of twins and maybe another C-section. So some of us might get pulled aside to go watch those and help out with the peds team and resuscitation if needed. So today's going to be hopefully an eventful, in a good way, kind of day. It's our last day, so we're really enjoying newborn. And then later today I have an hour break to go home, change, eat, and I have to go to CHIO for 5 p.m. because I have a late night shift. So I go from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. and I just follow the residents around in the NICU and help them out with anything if I can. What you're seeing now is a device to clean your phone. So I've never seen one of these before. I just decided to put my phone and see how it actually cleans it. So for you, I clicked record, put my phone facing up, and this is how it looks like. You get to see these blue lights, and I guess it's some UV light that just kills off all the bacteria. So I thought that was pretty cool. Our entire team was called to witness the resuscitation of a baby from a C-section. And what happened was that the mother had been under anesthesia for more than 7 minutes, and that was long enough for the baby to receive some of the anesthesia as well. So when the nurses and the residents got the baby, it took longer than usual to get the baby to become stable. The baby needed to be put on CPAP to support his breathing. They kept him warm, kept measuring his vitals, and the baby was hypotonic, which means that he just wasn't moving around much because of the anesthetic effects. So it's taking a while for him to actually breathe in rhythm and move his limbs. But fortunately, the resuscitation team was able to stabilize the baby and take him up to the nursery unit. Once the baby was stable, we all went up and rounded on the patients and did our case presentations, had lunch, and then presented our topics to the team. After we completed our presentation, we were free to go home. Alright, so I just finished here at the Civic at the neonatal unit. I'm gonna head back home. I have about an hour or so to get ready to eat, get ready, and then go back to the general hospital where I'm gonna do a late night call from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. in the NICU. And for that, I'm just going to be shadowing one of the residents. I heard it's pretty chill. My friends have done it. Pretty calm. I'm going to probably do some more studying and learn from the residents while I'm there. So I'm going to drive home right now. So I just got home. I'm going to eat, but I decided I want to pick some tomatoes because there's a lot ready in our little garden here. Show you. These are some of the tomatoes that we have. Look at this. I like to cook these tomatoes in our omelets, scrambled eggs every morning. So there's just a whole bunch. Comment down below if you grow anything in your garden. So I'm at the hospital, currently going up to 8th floor to meet up with the resident. All right, so I was here at the NICU, got to see a baby be born and resuscitated 31 weeks. I got to see some other babies in the more intense care, but the residents are swamped with writing notes and they said we could go home. So my classmate and I, we finished. We've been here for like an hour and a half. Yeah, hour and a half. And we're already done, so we're not staying till 10 p.m. So gonna go home, relax, unwind a little bit, maybe look at some notes or read around some cases from today and just prepare to enjoy a nice week. Hopefully it's sunny. I meant prepare to enjoy a nice weekend. I'm not sure if I said week, but weekend. Overall, I really enjoyed this past week. It was such a blessing to be part of a team to welcome new life into our world. And each time I saw a baby being born or resuscitated, it just melted my heart because life is precious and we have to be able to value it as much as we can. And I guess that's why they call it baby fever. See you on the next video.